Necrochasm is finally available in Year 3. It's a relatively easy quest to complete, and that still does require completing the Crota's Inn raid on 390 level difficulty. So let's get started with the perks. The Intrinsic perk is Cascade. Melee kills automatically reload a portion of the weapon's magazine. It's a nice little utility perk to have on any weapon, really. It won't completely refill the magazine from empty, but it will give you enough ammo to kill someone else in PvP if you are good with your shots, or just pump out some extra damage to finish off a target in PvE. For Muzzles, we have Accurized Ballistics, more range and impact, increased recoil. CQB Ballistics, greatly reduced recoil, significant penalty to range. And finally, Aggressive Ballistics, more predictable recoil, enhanced impact, shorter range, and more recoil. It's a pretty simple choice. Accurized is garbage. The recoil just goes everywhere and you don't get that much of a benefit from it anyway. Use CQB instead so you can land your shots without really fighting the recoil. Aggressive Ballistics is great for PvE where that little damage bump will help out. The recoil won't matter as much there because it just doesn't matter that much in PvE. Up next is Zen Moment. Causing damage with this weapon increases its stability. Again, this is a fantastic perk to have on any auto rifle, since it will give you a nice spike in stability once you land 2 or 3 shots, which should be very quick to notice due to the overall stability of the weapon. For stat mod perks, we have Single Point Sling, switch weapons faster, move quicker while aiming. Flared Magwell, reload this weapon even faster. And finally, Fitted Stock, increases weapon stability. In all cases, I'd go for Fitted Stock. You want to get the stability as high as possible since high rate of fire autos tend to have a lot of kick to them. Flared Magwell does fix the slow reload speed, but it isn't really worth losing that extra stability. The weapon is also snappy enough that you don't need Single Point Sling in my opinion. The final perk is Cursebringer. Kills with this weapon trigger a Curse Thrall explosion. This perk actually got buffed to proc on any kill, not just precision kills like its Year 1 form, which is great because more explosion means more fun. The damage is also pretty significant as well in both PvP and PvE, able to really hurt enemies in PvP and usually kill them outright in PvE. Let's go over how it performs in PvE as well. As I stated earlier, the Cursebringer perk will now proc on any kill, no precision shooting required. This is awesome since it's of the highest rate of fire archetype of auto rifle, which isn't known for pinpoint accuracy. This perk actually ups the PvE viability by a huge amount. Since just about everything explodes, you will be dealing some hefty AoE arc damage to tightly grouped enemies. Unfortunately, the damage of this archetype doesn't lend itself well to PvE. Even when using Aggressive Ballistics, which you should be using in PvE anyway, you end up using pretty large portions of the magazine to kill one enemy. If the target has a lot of health, then it's best to use your secondary. The recoil is fairly easy to control, but regardless of what muzzle you choose, the damage fall-off on auto rifles is going to be too heavy to really try shooting things at further ranges. Don't let any of that detract from the fun factor though. That is the most important thing. It's awesome just to make everything explode. That alone will make me use the gun over much more viable options most of the time. The reworking of the Cursebringer perk also means that you can finally make Minotaurs explode, again, which is kind of awesome. Now in PvP, Necrochasm is in an odd place. It performs well, but not quite well enough to make it a top tier weapon. When using CQB Ballistics and Fitted Stock, you have very easy to control recoil. I wouldn't recommend using Aggressive since you end up fighting the recoil a little bit too much. Zen Moment also adds some extra stability in there. The problem with the weapon is actually the other weapons in the Crucible. In the ranges that Necrochasm is supposed to be good, hand cannons will destroy you unless the hand cannon user misses a shot. Pulse rifle users will be able to land their shots at your ideal engagement range easily, as well as ranges completely outside of it. Necrochasm's weakness is that it's an auto rifle in PvP, which is kind of unfair as a criticism, but it's still a true one. Outside of its shortcomings, it performs extremely well against other auto rifles at least. Its recoil makes it very easy to stream bullets onto targets without fighting against the gun itself. The Cascade perk won't come into effect often, and it doesn't really restore enough ammo to really continue on any long fights. It's great in a panic situation though. I guess another small gripe is that the base reload speed is just a hair too slow for how often you have to reload this gun. This can be fixed with some reload gloves though, so I guess it isn't that much of an issue. I've been a bit silent about the Necrochasm perk in PvP. It is pretty situational, even if it does proc on any kill. Fortunately, it does do 79 damage, so if it hits, then it has the potential to almost completely remove someone's shield. In game types like Control, where people stay bunched up, this could lead to some hilarious moments. Also, the perk procs on lightning, trip mine, and spike grenades when shooting them. I don't know why, but I'll take it. The perk isn't visual either, it totally does damage, as seen here. So overall, Necrochasm is a very fun weapon to use if you like making everything explode. However, if you keep getting killed in PvP, maybe you should swap it out for something a little bit more competitive. In PvE, it will absolutely serve you well, but I think Xalos Supercell is going to be better since it does something so similar to the explosions, but it also charges your super and never runs out of ammo. I hope you all found this video helpful. Do you agree with the assessments on the Necrochasm? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.